Thank you, Nicola. Oireachtas, as the next proposed Taoiseach of this country, I want you to sort out the mess that's in the University Hospital of Limerick. You appointed the management at this hospital, and I think you have a duty of care to the people of Limerick and the Midwest region to get it sorted. Many of the people that attend UHL do not have an option of private healthcare, are unable to commute to other counties for the healthcare. Constituents have been contacting my office and several other offices, and they say they would rather die than go to the hospital. Minister, that's our Taoiseach, that's how serious it is. People of Limerick, Tipperary, Clare and North Kerry are left at risk, serious injury and the lack of proper care at UHL. Staff are leaving in their droves. Trolley Watch constantly stating that UHL is the highest in the country for patients on trolleys. 5 days in November, 70, 84, 70, 87, 88, all vulnerable. 98 new beds were put in place on December 2020 that there would be no more people left on trolleys. Where is the accountability? Similarly, when the expert from the Department of Health was put in place recently, there were no people on trolleys. Amazing. I am asking for the management team to step down immediately and a proper investigation and prosecutions, if needed, to happen. I understand that there are 70 non-disclosures sent to HSE from doctors in UHL explaining the conditions that are in the hospital. Taoiseach, you're a doctor. You trained in health care. You qualified as a doctor. I am pleading with you. I have pleaded with other ministers in your cabinet and in your government to help us in UHL Hospital Limerick. 11th of May 2018, Jessica Sheedy died, and I have permission to mention her name. A young girl died. The investigation is still ongoing and going around us, where we can see now that there is paperwork that again had been tampered with. Savita Halapanara, also Galway, investigations were into paperwork again being changed in the case of this. Recently, I watched a documentary on television where we were shown that there was a person going around. It was a true case in America, I think, where there was people going around killing people in hospitals, right? And they were caught out and sentenced as they should be. We now have a serious problem in UHL in Limerick. The management is wrong. I said it the first day I came here. The management is wrong. And I'm pleading for your help, for the safety of patients, for the safety of the healthcare staff in this hospital. I am pleading with you, please investigate this hospital and get the management to step down. The information is there. It's there. It's coming from all other parties in this House. Different deputies have mentioned it on more than one time. And even in the Shannon it's been mentioned. We need your help. Can you step up and help us, please?
Thanks, Deputy. First of all, I just want to acknowledge that the situation in University Hospital Limerick is grave. It is a hospital that suffers from a very high level of overcrowding almost all of the time. There has been a lot of investment in the hospital in recent years. The budget's never been greater, notwithstanding the difficulties recruiting and retaining staff. That there have never been more staff, and that includes medical and clinical staff. Extra beds have been provided, and there is a whole new emergency department that you're aware of. And certainly I can guarantee you that the issues and concerns around the hospital are raised by government TDs all the time with me, particularly from Clare and Limerick, and of course from North Tipperary as well. In relation to the management of the hospital, as you'd be aware, or as you may not be aware, but I'm happy to clarify for the Dáil that hospital managers are not appointed by government. These aren't government appointees. We don't appoint them, nor do we have the authority to dismiss them. They're employees hired in the normal way that public sector employees are, and they do have basic rights under law to have their good name protected, and also if there are any complaints against them, to have them heard fairly and following a particular process. And I am a little uncomfortable in the House, where we're protected by privilege, to hear any staff being criticised. I just think we need to be careful about that. But I leave it at that there. And certainly I'll let the Minister know that you've raised these matters.
Taoiseach, I see that you have a minute and a half left on your slot, and that you could not even complete the 3 minutes or 4 minutes that you were allocated. Taoiseach, I'm asking you, 23 billion is the amount that has been allocated to health. The question is, how much has been spent in cover-ups? How much has been spent in non-disclosures? We now have 70 health professional doctors have come to you and are now silenced. How many people are out sick because of the issues in UHL? Look at the numbers that are leaving the hospital in staff. I don't want to name and blame anyone. I'm here for the protection of the people of Limerick and the surrounding areas that use this hospital. I've asked you for years to help. There is a serious problem with management. If it was any other business, they'd be gone. The CEO, Taoiseach, and it was noted on the papers that it was asked by you to know would they take up that position. I'm asking you now to investigate this. I'm asking you to help the people of Limerick and the surrounding areas, stop the cover-ups, spend the money into healthcare, and check out the amount of money that's been spent on legal and silencing of staff. We need, for the betterment of people that are in this country, to know that they can go to this hospital. I'm from Limerick. I want UHL to be the best hospital in the country. But I'm so disappointed that it's not. And people in Limerick and around the areas are asking for our help. So please, Taoiseach, please, investigate into this for me, please.
Thanks, Deputy. You're making a number of allegations there in relation to cover-ups and other things, and I don't know if your allegations are true, Deputy, and I don't have any powers of investigation with regard to such allegations. But if you have evidence that backs them up, I'd encourage you. Well, I'd encourage you to make sure they're.
Just let the Taoiseach.
Last Concord, it's impossible for me to comment on allegations of cover-ups without knowing what the allegations are specifically or what evidence the Deputy has. But certainly if he has evidence to support his claims, I'd ask him to make sure that he makes them available to the relevant authorities. And just to clarify, if it wasn't clear in my original response, Deputy, I don't and never have had any role in the appointment of hospital managers.
Deputy.